Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Now, the other important issue, or one other important issue we want to talk about here is the death boards, the death panels. Now, we've got Harry Reid has trotted out his Senate health bill with the weakest of weak public options. He's got $500 billion plus of cuts to Medicare and indeed to Medicaid. We've got, based on the Bush-era looting of Medicare, if the Congress is not able to act, there will be a 21% cut in the Medicare reimbursements to doctors in particular coming up very, very soon. That's Bush-era looting, but that's nothing compared to the Obama-era looting of Medicare. Remember, the approach we have here is defend the New Deal, defend the Great Society against the banker's boy and Wall Street puppet, Obama, who wants to destroy your economic rights under left cover. Don't be fooled. The government takeover is not so much the point. Government looting, the looting of your rights under Medicare, Medicaid, Veterans Administration, hospitals, and so forth. And we've got two incidents that really point this up, which I regard as huge. Anybody who is approaching 65 should be against the Obama bills, the Reid bill and the Pelosi bill, because they gouge $500 billion plus from your rights under Medicare, and you're going to need those to survive. Now the question is, women. What is Obama doing for women? I mean, the misogyny, the hatred of women in the Obama campaign was a favorite theme of the Pumas, and they were absolutely right. So here's what we have. The death board in question. It just shows that any board can become a death board when you get Malthusian ghouls and lunatics and cost cutters on board. This is the United States Preventive Services Task Force. And this is a group of political hacks. Some of them have MDs. Some of them have PhDs. They're all incompetent. They're all political shills. We can talk about some of the people on the board. Some of them you've seen in these various interviews. Diana Petiti was the chairman. There was a Dr. Gregory on there, Lucy Marion, a nurse, Dr. Tim Wilt. And what they say is, the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force says, no mammograms, pardon me, no mammograms for women between the ages of 40 and 50, and after 50, only every other year. Now, everybody knows young women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer in their 30s or even earlier. This is criminal. This is cost-cutting. This is genocide for the purpose of doing what? Getting money for bigger and better Wall Street bailouts for Geithner and his parasitical hedge fund hyena friends. If you saw the debate on Anderson Cooper CNN with Dr. Gregory, who's in favor of these cuts, facing off against a guy from Harvard who knew what he was talking about, you'll see that these people are tongue-tied, stammering, incompetent fools. They're wretches. They should be disbarred, or whatever the equivalent is, medical license taken away. These are quackademics and, what can we call them, fascist doctors, I suppose, would be the first approximation. The person that I think we've got to blame above all is Orzag, Peter Orzag, O-R-S-Z-A-G. This is this bean counter, the guy with the beanie with the propeller on it. This guy is leading a one-man crusade, of course, using the federal government, against tests. Orzag hates mammograms. He hates MRIs. He hates CAT scans. He hates the nuclear stress test for your heart. He hates the PSA, prostate-specific antigen test, because he says not only are these tests unneeded, we don't need them, they're superfluous, but when you get a positive result on any of these, in other words, an alarming result, then there are going to be biopsies and other tests and other procedures that cost us more and more. So Orzag says, as a good Malthusian ghoul, you should die. And that's the logic. Now, if the first one were not enough, coming from the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, today, this morning, in the papers, we have the American College of Gynecology and Obstetrics saying that there should be no pap tests to screen for cervical cancer until women reach the age of 21. This is another piece of insanity. The question to ask these people in both cases is, what are the new studies, the new controlled statistical studies that have led you to this? Because from about the middle of the 1980s until now, the U.S. government has officially, and the medical establishment, have officially encouraged mammograms, and they have indeed increasingly encouraged cervical cancer screenings because of the prevalence now of papilloma virus. What has changed? Well, what has changed is that Peter Orszag is now running the financial side of the government, this lunatic with his fascist furor that you don't deserve medical tests, that you're a useless eater, a non-productive cull, and that you should be gotten rid of. There's no speculation about death boards. These are death boards. They are panels of incompetent bureaucrats. Now, the question, of course, is, are they under the influence of the insurance companies? Of course they are. The Republicans are going to say, we want insurance companies to decide what your care is. The Obama social fascist crew say, no, we want government to decide it. Well, the answer is none of that. We don't want either of those. This is a perfect example where the Republican answer is just as bankrupt. Remember, under the Republicans, there wouldn't even be death boards. There would be nothing because you'd have no Medicare, no Medicaid, no nothing. You'd have just your eyes to cry with. Obama has to do it under left cover, which means that he's got to put out these recommendations and do it through this machinery that is there. It's a huge issue. If every senior citizen or potential prospective Medicare beneficiary realized what this bill, both of them, are going to do to Medicare, the $500 billion in cuts, that would already lop off a significant amount of support. The AARP has betrayed its own base, needless to say. On the side now of the pap tests and the mammograms, every woman ought to be up in arms because this is a direct war being waged by the misogynist, woman-hating Obama administration against the health of every woman, meaning against society and civilization in toto. We obviously have to thank the medical establishment. The American Cancer Society, above all, has done itself honor by immediately rejecting these crackpot, quackademic proposals coming from the Orszag-controlled Obama administration. So that is a huge political issue. Notice also the Congress that's going to be voting on this is really the Pluto Congress. 237 millionaires will be in there. So this is coming to a vote most likely on Saturday, the 21st of November, and it's going to be another one of these nighttime votes. This will be to open debate. Reid will need another vote to cut off debate, and then he'll have to pass the bill, and then that will have to be reconciled if it gets that far with something from the House, and then those two will also have to be passed. So again, stall, gridlock. Gridlock is better than these monstrous proposals. Gridlock is better than the Obama proposals. Gridlock is better than the equally or even more bankrupt proposals coming from the reactionary Republicans, particularly the Boner plan, which was put up this week, which allows pre-existing conditions to be cited so you don't get any care.